Heya! Welcome back to Transistor. You voted, so it's time for a new loadout. Our first slot will be Get, loaded up with Crash. Then we'll be taking out Spark, loaded up with Help. Number 3 will be Bounce, all by its lonesome. 4 is Breach, loaded with Switch, and our passive will be Mask. Alright, let's get moving.
Hope this works. Next stop, high rise. Something's wrong.
Ooh, looks like we've got a fight in some confined spaces. You can see here, Get isn't really going to do all that much for us. A very small arena means we can't take advantage of its long range. However, the switch on Breach will be invaluable. Being able to take the heat off of us for even a few seconds will save our skins. We can see that we're getting roughed up pretty fiercely. That's due to the limiter that we have on that doubles these processes' power. Though it isn't very good for Get, confined spaces like this work great for Bounce. We can get a whole lot of mileage out of it. And we can see there the utility of Mask as a passive. That tiny instant of invisibility and enhanced speed lets us take cover. Ooh, looks like we got beaten down a little bit harder than I was expecting. We've lost Spark. Gonna have to make a bit more liberal usage of turn if we're gonna survive this one. Fortunately for us, Snapshot likes to keep its distance, so if we put a wall between us, we'll be relatively safe. And the creep seems to have more or less lost track of us. We can see its head is following us around, but it's not pursuing. Presumably, since it doesn't have line of sight, it doesn't know what to do with itself. We can take advantage of that, getting in a hot shot. We can see that Get will allow us to even retrieve cells. This is very good for keeping out of range of other processes while we pick up those cells so they don't respawn. And with a clever application of turn, we can almost finish these guys off. Fortunately, the switch kept him off our backs just long enough to recharge, and just like that...
Close one.
Much closer than I would have liked.
Almost there. Welcome to high rise. Welcome home. Load up.
Need to switch things out now that we're out of function. Given a choice between Jaunt and Help, I think the double power that we're dealing with means that running away would be pretty useful. And with that, we don't have enough memory left to take help with us in any capacity, so we're just gonna move on.
Oh. Heal. Stay.
Looks like we got a brand new process here.
Stay. Fetch. No?
I would much rather it play dead. Fetch is far and away my least favorite process. First of all, we can see here that it's fast. It's extremely fast, faster than red. It also hits relatively hard despite its size. And trust me, it'll get worse and worse as we go along.
Let's keep moving.
We have an apartment block and a set of stairs.
Terminal on the corner back there.
Let's check out this terminal first.
So the word is out. If anybody's left to hear it.
If only.
Whole town's being held ransom.
Alright, now then.
Can't even see the canals.
This gondola here is the way forward, so let's go check out those apartments first.
Might as well stop in. Best view in town.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Home sweet home.
It's strange coming here. Like this. Can't imagine what it's like for you. Well, at least Junction Jan's delivered. Sea monster fresh from the bay. Flatbread delivery still going strong. Not so bad when it's cold. Not that I know anymore. Help yourself and good. Locked yourself out. How are you gonna... Oh.
Well, it's nice to have a last meal.
It all looks fine from up here.
I am quite enamored with the image of Red rubbing a piece of flatbread on the transistor.
Oh, Red, I'm starting to lose you.
Well, we should very much be concerned about that, but we have more pressing issues. Another fetch. Looks like 3 cheerleaders and a pair of weeds. Looks like we were a little bit too slow picking up that cell. That cheerleader came back. Let's try not to make that mistake again. Now, knowing as we do that the cheerleaders will be pulled out of position, we need to manually aim the bounce. Now, as I was saying about fetch, it is faster than red. It is in fact impossible to outrun it without jaunt, and even then, it can still catch up to you. That's the main reason why I don't like it. All the other processes, you can escape them, with perhaps the exception of a few special cases. Fetch also hits far too hard for its size. It's small and fast. It shouldn't be able to dish out a pounding like it does. And as we've been seeing with these processes, they upgrade. And Fetch's upgrades are less than fair, in my opinion. We will see that soon enough. I keep making the mistake of pulling Fetch into me. I'm too used to using Get as my main damage dealer. As we can see, Fetch is also incredibly sturdy. 620 HP. That's more than a lot of processes. Take a quick pop into the access point. Spark's back online. So let's put it back into play.
Can't even go for a swim because you're stuck with me. Think anybody else is in here besides me? I've seen no one. But when I look up to where the sky should be, I see you. And I know you can hear me. Going all the way up to the top of that tower out there.
I know those walls. I know that targeting reticule.
Watch out.
Alright, so let's get to some real work here. First of all, we can see that the cluckers have been upgraded. Now, when they run from you, they leave a trail that slows you down. Of course, we're packing Get, so they're not going to have much luck with that. I've said in the past that the cluckers are quite nearsighted. They can't really deal with you once you get close to them. And with a function like Get, which pulls processes to you, well, needless to say, they're not really going to stand much of a chance.
Terminals around town holding up pretty good, all things considered. Northwest Racket Towers.
There's nothing for us back here. I just wanted to take a quick look around. Another back door. Another trip to the sandbox.
Right. Oh, back from break.
No time for breaks. You have to keep
Must be
moving.
seeing double.
nice little thing that we can see here is that for the purposes of Mask's passive ability, the shadows do count as a process kill. Eliminating one gets us that boost. Likewise, these bad cells would do it for us, but we got pounded while we were recharging. That double damage limiter can really knock us out, even against small enemies. I'm gonna try and earn us a few seconds of peace by switching over the young lady. And now we just have a sizable crowd of bad cells to deal with. We gotta be careful here. We don't want to leave ourselves vulnerable while any bad cells have a line of sight on us. Last thing we need is to lose another function. Fortunately, their tracking abilities aren't exactly stellar.
That was pretty swell.
Alright, choice of two functions, load and ping. Now, load, we've been seeing it do some good work lately, so we're gonna take that. And some new permissions. We got a choice of a new passive slot, another upgrade slot, or 4 more memory. We are definitely going to take that. I am always going to prioritize more memory because it means us being able to take more functions out into the field.
You know those white walls been popping up? I kinda miss those.
We just saw them. Anyways, so long as Spark is out of commission, we might as well load up our new boy. Got a whole bunch of free space, so let's slap load down. And we'll slap help onto bounce, since it seems to be our main killer lately. And we'll put jaunt onto get so that we can keep using it, even when we're recharging. That'll make it much easier to pick up cells before they respawn.
Terminal. Everybody's packing it up for the country.
I've been thinking a situation like this, small pockets aren't really going to occur. We should spread ourselves as wide as we can.
Oh, we'll notify our local administrator. Off we go again. The process. You think maybe they're afraid of heights?
Big old stack of operators like this, we can really take advantage of load. Completely stationary, they are totally vulnerable to the high damage output that load can provide. Gotta bounce it around a bit. Taking out 2 of them with no problem. Of course, load's trajectories can be a bit unpredictable. Operators are also quite vulnerable to get, since their distance remains constant.
That's my star. You could always handle yourself. Just fine. I love you so much, Red. You know that, right? It's true. It's true. It's true. Just some crazy fog I've never seen before. Nothing to be afraid of. Maybe now they'll quit building out the rest of the block. What was that? I'm sure it was nothing. Top of the town. This tower's changed 1,000 times. It's gotta be pretty old. Central admin sure keeps it tidy. Every time you cast a vote in this town, it gets tallied, sorted, somewhere here.
Guess you could call this the heart of Cloud Bank, then.
Another chance to make Cloud Bank a better place.
Process is quite eggshell in hue,
Oh, you look fine.
although it doesn't exactly act like an illness.
Seems like you're safe. I take full credit. The spine of the world.
Uh-oh. Looks like a jerk or two and a couple of fetches. Let's get ready for him.
Oh boy.
Or maybe not.
Would you look at the time?
Let's run instead.
Is that what's doing this to me? Don't mind us.
Fortunately, its targeting seems to go at where we are rather than where we will be, so if we just keep moving.
Back there. I think that was just the tail. That was just the tail. Where'd everybody go? If I was the size of that thing, I wouldn't hide from anybody.
Taking a quick stop in here. Spark is back up and running, but I'm rather liking our current loadout. So instead, let's see what happens if we upgrade load with Spark.
Here they are.
You have a trio of smaller packets. If our timing is good, we can use the spine's tail
See that
to eliminate
spine?
some of these processes for us. But of course, that can be
Excuse us.
quite dangerous. I'm with you, pal. Let's hustle.
It took off. I think it took off.
Any observed continuity errors are the result of waveform collapse and should be disregarded.
Bracket towers, settling every big decision in this town. Head of the camerata and they're pulling the strings. Hey, at least if we get through this, we'll get to say we were there. Red, what? Okay. Yeah. I'm trying. Go get him. I believe you. You always have a plan. Hello. How'd you get in there? This tower isn't going anywhere. You hear that, Spine?
So that big thing was the tail. Wonder what this is.
Know what I hate worse than stairs? Nothing. Right now, nothing. If I didn't know better, I'd think that thing's afraid of you.
Well, it seems to be growling out, "Stay away." So you may be on to something.
You know, I have a theory about what's come over me. I think what's causing this, it's big. Real big.
Yeah, hold that thought. Fetch has gotten its first upgrade. The hunting cloak. Another thing that I truly dislike about Fetch. Fetch 2.0 can become invisible for several seconds. While it is invisible, it is impervious to harm.
It's white, red polka dots, pointy tail. It's like closer it gets, farther apart we are.
And, since as mentioned before, Fetch is faster than you, it basically makes it an invincible ghost that can hit you from essentially anywhere. I very much dislike Fetch. Now I say that it's impervious to harm. That's not entirely accurate. You can hurt it if you're lucky. But in my experience, it is essentially impervious to harm. Because there's no way to track it once it goes invisible. If you don't get lucky, you're never going to be able to hit it. Also, as you can see, its cloak essentially functions like mask. It can go invisible instantaneously, even while in motion. So it's very easy to lose track of it. Also, our sparked out load isn't really pulling its weight. seems to be that the combined damage of the 3 mini packets doesn't quite equal up to the damage of 1 full packet.
Hey, why'd you stop?
So now that we're out of bounce, we'll need to take something else in there. We have a whole 7 memory available to us. So let's see here. Going to make Spark a main function for now. And since we've been getting a lot of kills out of load, we are going to put it with help, so we can get that anti-cell spawning effect. Just going to use a momentary turn in order to avoid a shot to the face.
Don't bother, just... It's gone to the country. If we don't move it, we'll be worse than this terminal.
Well, yes, of course, but it is our civic duty.
I doubt they'll get the memo.
You try and be a good person.
Hey, where's the spine? There it is again. Almost. Almost.
Well, now this is familiar.
Hey, wanna hear a funny joke? What's the difference?
Far too familiar.
Never mind.
Are there any processes coming our way? Yes, no? Looks like no. Spine's just gonna harass us.
Are we there yet? Red, wait. Please be.
Now, my instincts are screaming at me. So let's switch things up here momentarily. We are going to keep load. That's going to be a big hitter for us. And we're going to take Spark as our #1 slot. Going to put Get on passive. And then we'll be taking Jaunt and Mask for support. And with our extra memory, put in some upgrades. Crash onto Spark. Breach onto Load so we can put some distance on its spawn point. Then the rest of these don't really matter, but there is a purpose to this. I'm going to put Help onto Jaunt, and then Switch onto, Mask. Alright. That may seem senseless, but trust me on this one. Now then. The spine.
Oh dear. I can't. Losing you. Losing you.
The spine is an extremely nasty process. Really only has 2 attacks, but both of them are doozies. First, it attacks us with its tail, as we've seen, and the other is that rapid-fire laser that it shoots out of its face. Not only does that deal a considerable amount of damage, but it also stuns and knocks Red around. If you get hit once with it, you can expect to get hit by it a whole bunch. Now, somewhat like Sybil, the spine sort of has lives to it. Every time you deal a set amount of damage to the spine, it will spawn out a bunch of cells. We have a minimal amount of time to pick them up. That's why I brought Get with me, so that I can pull them in easier. Quite frankly, dealing with a herd of bad cells in the midst of a fight like this is more than really anybody can handle. You can see with my load placement that I am very careful not to place the packet inside of the spine. I don't want to target the spine directly. Reason being is that, as you can see when I crash the spine using Spark, its center body is well inside it. And without something like, say, Reach that can hit over a great distance, we'd be completely unable to activate that packet. Have to make sure to put it outside. Now, a moment ago, I lost Mask. Now, as you can see down at the bottom, Jaunt is next on the chopping block. I haven't really used Jaunt much at all in this fight. Really, its purpose, and the purpose for loading up Mask with Switch, is to raise its memory cost. A sufficiently high cost will make it so that it gets put on the chopping block sooner. And I would rather have my support functions go before my damage dealers. We are very close to the end here. The spine has a scant 90th of its health remaining. We stand a very good chance. And in fact, if we get aggressive,
Oh, hi. Thanks for whatever you did back there.
two brand new functions for us, Cull and Purge. Now, Cull is another very heavy hitter, but we just picked up Load for that. So we're going to go with a more support-oriented function. Another set of permissions, the ones we passed up before. I'm going to take another passive slot. And some more limiters. Once again, ones we've passed up before. Can't really afford to limit ourselves even with that recent memory upgrade, so we will be taking double cell spawn.
Among the other things.
Now that door is forward, but we've done quite a lot today. So much, in fact, that I think it would be a little bit much to examine our new goodies. So we will leave that for next time. Good night, everyone.